Recently, I've been wanting to make some Minecraft videos, but I didn't have a world to play on, so that's what I'm doing today. This video is going to show you my journey from the beginning up until I'm well equipped and ready to do some cool things. So I made a world and just got started. And before the video starts, I just want to let you guys know that not all my videos are going to be formatted like this. The only reason this video is formatted the way it is so that I can speed through the boring part of the game. It took me a while, but after gathering some resources and killing a lot of animals, I eventually found a village. I quickly set up in one of the houses and trapped the villagers in the other houses because I didn't want them to die. I planted some sugarcane and went mining. Right next to the village was a massive cave, so I went mining for a while and got some basic resources, mostly coal and iron. Eventually I found some diamonds in a mine shaft which had some more diamonds along with a lot more coal and iron. Once I was done with the mine shaft, I made my way out of the cave and back to my base where I smelted all my iron. I found a saddle in the mine shaft and I was sick of walking everywhere, so I went out to find a horse. While I was exploring, I found another village really close to my house, but I ended up forgetting about it. It took a while, but eventually I did find a few horses, and there was one that was pretty fast. I decided to keep this one, so I built a small area next to my house so that he wouldn't run off, and then I created myself a full set of iron armor and a diamond pickaxe. I went back into the cave and mined enough obsidian to make an enchantment table and another portal. When I got back to my house, I spotted an enderman, so I killed him and was lucky enough to get an ender pearl. After that, I went to the back of my house and made the nether portal. I immediately went in and found another fortress right next to my portal. I went in the fortress and killed some blaze and some wither skeletons. I was trying to get enough blaze rods so that I wouldn't have to come back for a while, but I hit a zombie pigman and all his friends started chasing me, so I got scared and left. Eventually I went back and was really wanting to find a warp forest because they had a lot of endermen and I needed a lot of endermen. Unfortunately I didn't find what I was looking for, but I did find a giant swarm of mobs. I ran away because I was nowhere near ready to take on all those mobs at once, and when I got back to the overworld it was nighttime, so I went out looking for some endermen. I did find 2 endermen, but neither of them dropped ender pearls. The next morning I went to the nether looking for some endermen, but I didn't find anything, so I went home. When I got back to the overworld, it was night, so I went out looking for endermen with my horse. I ended up dying, but luckily I was able to get all my stuff back and my horse. When it became day, I killed some animals. I was trying to get some leather for an enchantment table, but I didn't have enough, so I put it in a chest and left it for later. When it became night again, I went looking for endermen again, but this time a creeper killed me. Luckily, my horse was alive, so I grabbed all my stuff, got on my horse, and kept looking. I killed a few endermen and I got 2 more pearls. I was making slow but decent progress. The next day, I made a lectern and some fletching tables so that I could get to work on villagers. I wanted to be able to get some emeralds, so I went and gathered some wood. I got to work on a librarian and got silk touch, so I kept him. I had run out of wood because I traded it all, so I went out to get some more wood and then traded all of it again. Then I gathered all my sugarcane and made bookcases, and with the help of my librarian, I had all the bookcases that I needed for a level 30 enchantment table. I crafted the enchantment table and made myself a basement area for enchants. Because I had used almost all my emeralds for the enchantment table, I went and cut down a ton of trees to trade with. When it became night, I went out looking for endermen again. I found quite a few tonight, but I only got 2 pearls. The next day, I traded with the Fletchers a little bit, and then went back into the nether. I found my silk touch villager just chilling, but I knew that sooner or later he was going to get killed by something, so I used all the emeralds I had and bought a single silk touch book. After that, I went back to the nether and started to mine quartz and kill mobs. I was trying to get level 30, but I died and lost almost all my levels. I got all my stuff back, and when I got back to the overworld, I went looking for some endermen again. I found a few, but only got 1 more pearl. The next day, I decided to go out and look for the stronghold. I found a village pretty close to my house, and I will use that a lot in the future, but as of right now, it's not really important. After a while, the eyes started going back to where I came from, so I started to mine down. I didn't find any stronghold, but I did find a massive cave and some diamonds. I really didn't want to die being this far away from home, so I decided to head back to my base. The next day, I went back to the nether looking for some more endermen. I dug a long tunnel to try to get away from my spawn area because most of it was just soul sand. While in the nether, I got a little too comfortable and fell in lava and lost all my stuff. When I respawned, I made some more equipment and kept digging the tunnel. My plan was to go in a straight line until I found what I was looking for. It didn't take long for me to find a crimson forest, and that's when I got the idea to trade with piglins because they can give me ender pearls. So with this new idea in mind, I found a good location, trapped a piglin in a hole, and gave him all of the gold I had. While waiting for him to burn through that, I went and mined some more gold so I would have a higher chance of getting ender pearls. Eventually, I ran out of gold and didn't want to get too far away from my portal, so I went to the overworld and mined gold to trade with. This idea ended up working really well, and after trading for a while, I got all the ender pearls I needed, so I went home, crafted the Eyes of Ender, and made my way to the stronghold. Eventually, I found the stronghold and almost instantly found the portal room. I didn't really have a plan in mind other than to kill the dragon, so I set my spawn in the portal room and jumped in the portal. After killing the dragon and getting the egg, I went back to my base and started to enchant some of my stuff. I made another diamond pickaxe, a diamond sword, and some diamond armor. I got some pretty decent enchants on all my gear except for my sword. I don't know why, but no matter how hard I tried, I got a garbage enchant. For some reason, I took all of my good gear down to the big cave next to my base and fought mobs and gathered resources. Because I had Fortune 3 on one of my pickaxes, I got 29 extra diamonds, so I went back to my base and crafted the rest of the armor that I needed and some extra tools. After that clip, I had to do something in real life, and when I got back, I looted an end city and forgot to hit record.
What?
When I got back the next day, I made a diamond axe and got some really good enchantments on it. I decided that I should mine some wood so that I could trade with Fletchers and get some more emeralds. Once I got a decent amount of emeralds, I went to the closest villager house and tried to get mending, but I didn't have any luck, so I went to some of the other villagers and tried it with them. It didn't take long for me to get mending, and this guy was selling it for 10 emeralds, which I'm pretty sure is the best mending trade that you can get. I used some of the last wood that I had to get emeralds and made another lectern. This time, I wanted to get Unbreaking 3. I didn't have any luck on Unbreaking 3, so I made a shovel and got some pretty good enchants on it, and then bought a lot of mending books. I then flew away, just trying to look around, and ended up finding that biome that has really big trees, so I mined some of them, and when I got home, I traded with the Fletchers. I decided to mine some more wood, and then I traded with the villagers again. Once that was done, I flew to the 2 villages that were close and took their hay bales for food. After that, I made some beds and took all of the beds in the village and put them in one big house. I gave the 2 librarians bread so they would breed and left. I tried to get Unbreaking 3 from multiple villagers, but I had no luck. I decided to go to the end and farm some endermen for levels, and it was working pretty well, but then I died and realized I should just make an actual enderman farm. I went and got my stuff from the end, and when I got back to the overworld, I went to kill some wither skeletons because I didn't really know what else to do. I got the first skull pretty quickly, and it didn't take me much longer to get the second and third one. After buying some arrows from my Fletchers, I was ready to go. I went down into the cave next to my house with everything I would need and dug a tunnel deep underground so the wither wouldn't escape. I began the battle, and it was a lot easier than I thought, and the wither died pretty quickly. I got my nether star, but I didn't craft my beacon yet because I didn't have enough resources to make a full beacon, so I just put it away in my chest and left it there. After that, I decided I should make an enderman farm so I could get good enchantments on all of my gear. I gathered a bunch of blocks and tried making one myself, but I failed miserably and ended up following a YouTube tutorial. Most of the building process was easy, but getting the endermite was painfully slow. I then got my enchantment set up and armor to the enderman farm and got my gear to be really good. When I got home, I looked at all of my gear and realized I was just about ready to do some cool things. When I got on the next day, I wanted to make 3 things: a creeper farm, a sugarcane farm, and an iron farm. Do you remember that acacia village near the stronghold? You probably don't, but that's where I'm making all of these farms. I gathered some fish so I could tame some cats, and I bred them a lot and put them in a crappy gunpowder farm that I swapped out for a different design later on. The iron farm was pretty easy to make, and the sugarcane farm probably took less than a minute to make. I AFK'd for a while and everything was looking good except for the creeper farm. It had almost no gunpowder in, and that's when I realized that there were probably caves underneath it, and that's where all the mobs were spawning. I went and lit them up, and once I did that, the farm was working, but it was still trash, so I replaced it with a different design and lit up some more caves. Alright, well I feel like I'm well equipped and ready to do some cool things, so I'm gonna end the video here. Goodbye.